All right, good evening. My name's Bob Connors at 6 p.m. and I'd like to call the July 1st meeting of the Newbury Conservation Commission to order. Mason, can you read the preamble to the remote meeting law and take a roll call of members present?
As a preliminary matter, this is Mason Ferret, Conservation Agent of the Newbury Conservation Commission, and I call the July 1st meeting to order and permit me to confirm that all members are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Mary Rimmer,
Yes.
TJ Conti,
Yes.
Nick Brown,
Yes.
Harry Trout,
Yes.
Woody Knight,
Yes.
Frank Wettenkamp,
Yes.
Bob Connors.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. This open meeting of the Newbury Conservation Commission is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the Governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment. For this meeting, the Newbury Conservation Commission is convening by Zoom conference as posted on the agenda of the Conservation Commission section of the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please be aware that other folks may be able to see you, and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. Applicants or their representatives may be called upon to speak and or share information to the screen if able on the fly. We're now turning to the first item on the agenda, but before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct. The chair will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comments, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your microphone, please use earbuds, and please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. Board and committee members should be called upon in a first name alphabetical order to ease the process. After board and committee members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment as follows. The chair will first seek questions through the chat function. When participants are using this function, please list your name, address, and then your question. The chair will then seek questions from the public who wish to speak. They'll be asked to identify their names and addresses, question, and once the chair has a list of all public commentators, they will call on each by name and afford 3 minutes for any comments. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote.
Okay, thank you, Mason. Board reorganization, but first I wanted to take a moment to thank Diane O'Brien for her 3 years of dedicated service to the Conservation Commission and the town of Newbury. Her contributions and expertise have been greatly appreciated, and we're grateful for the time and commitment she brought to the role. I would like to welcome Harry Trout as our newest member of the commission. We look forward to working with Harry and benefiting from his perspective and vast knowledge of Plum Island. Okay. So, as I've said in previous years, I always think it's a good idea to rotate the chair and vice chair. And so there's no kings here in the Newbury Conservation Commission, and anyone that would like to step up, is please raise your hand and I'll be the first to nominate you, second your nomination. But so do we have a motion for chair and vice chair? Mick, you're on mute.
I have a motion that we leave it the way it is with Bob Connors as chair and Mary Rimmer as vice chair, if both are agreeable.
Second.
Okay, discussion. Mary, are you okay with that? I'm ready to hand the torch over at any second. You know that.
More than happy
Yeah.
for you to handle that torch. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Bob.
All right. No, listen, I enjoy working with all of you. I will entertain a motion to approve the election of the chair and vice chair as mentioned.
So moved. Yes, so moved.
Okay, second.
Second.
That Mick? Was that you?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, roll call. All in favor? Mary?
Yes.
TJ?
Aye.
Woody?
Yes.
Mick?
Aye.
Harry?
Yes.
Frank?
Yes.
And Bob Connors votes yes. Okay, upcoming meeting dates. We're only going to be meeting once in August. That will be August 5th. And we'll be meeting September 2nd, but we'll be rotating back to 2 meetings per month. Minutes for review. I actually have for our June 17th meeting. Why don't we take a moment to review those, see if there's any comments, concerns, or corrections?
I had one minor comment, Mason, that on the 40th Street, the last line, I think we have form and from, we just can delete the form.
Okay. Okay, so just more of a housekeeping issue and
Yep.
not a
This is
mate-
hypo.
not-
Yep.
yeah, not a material change. Okay. All right. I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes for the the June 17th, 2025 meeting with that one typo error being corrected.
So moved.
Thank you, Woody.
Second,
Thank you, Mary. Okay, roll call. All in favor. Mary,
yes.
TJ,
I will abstain. I was not here.
okay, Woody,
Yes.
Mick,
I was not present, so I'll abstain as well.
okay, Harry, you weren't a member yet, so you can't vote on that. Frank
Yes.
and Bob Connors votes yes, so we had a quorum on that. All right, first order of business. We have a RDA. It's 22 14th Street. Applicant is submitting an RDA for an in-kind replacement of masonry stairs on Plum Island. Mason, can you give us an overview on this one and where this stands?
Yep, so I had talked to Ed today, where we left it at the last meeting, as he was gonna talk to his stonemason, and potentially anyone else who was gonna be doing some of the repair work. In those conversations, he said that, some of the work needed to be done for the replacement of the stairs, could potentially affect the structural integrity of their, like seasonal porch that they have. So it sounds like they're gonna be talking more about the scope and the extent of what needs to be done, and then coming back to us after with some updated plans and some more detail.
Okay. Well, where this isn't a public hearing, why don't we just put this on the agenda for our August 5th meeting date? Okay, moving on. Okay, certificate of compliance, DEP file number 0501337 Man, this has been a long day already. At 2 40th Street, applicant is requesting a full certificate of compliance for the project at 2 40th Street. The project was permitted for demolition of existing home on cinder blocks and rebuild of a single-family home on a pile foundation with associated site work. Mason, I see Joe on the call. Mason, can you give us an update where we are on this one?
Yep, so we held up last meeting for the requirement of an as-built plan. Since then, we had looked into the folder to see what we had. We have an as-built plan for the pilings that were put in place, but not for all of the post-construction, details and things like that. I talked with Joe and Millennium today, and it sounds like they're going to be working together to get that done. And hopefully they should have that ready to go before our next meeting.
Okay. Joe, do you want to offer any comments in this? But it seems like this is going to get kicked to the August 5th meeting.
First of all, I'd like to apologize to the board. What I thought was so I didn't know I would have to do that again, Bob, and I apologize for wasting the time. And until today, I hadn't had a chance to talk to TJ despite trying many, many times. So he's promised me that he would get on this right away and we would try to wrap this up by the next meeting. And very thrilled that we were able to get some working with Mason to figure out what the difference is between an as-built from the Conservation Committee to an as-built from the building and in my occupancy permit. So we will get that done. We were also very pleased that Mason showed you pictures of work that was at the house, and we were able to both track down the approvals of the Conservation Committee for those changes. So we seem to be in good shape. We'll try to get the certificate for you by August 5th.
Okay. All right. Any comments, anyone? Mary, any comments? We just, Mason, go
No.
ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to add at the original hearing, I had made note of a change in the backyard with some stones that had been placed after further review and some info that Joe had sent over from something that we didn't have in the file that was permitted through an RDA.
Okay.
So as far that was the only note that I had for on-site changes. So outside of that, once we get the as-built, I think we should be good to go.
Okay. Does anyone have any comments or questions? Mary, any
No.
comments? Okay. Anyone else have any comments or questions?
Nope.
Okay. So Joe, we'll just put this on the August 5th, continue to August 5th. Again, it's not a public hearing, so we don't have to actually vote to continue the public hearing. That will be August 6th, August 5th. Thank you, Joe. Have a great 4th of July. Something tells me I'll probably see you around the neighborhood.
You will, Bob, and so happy 4th of July to you all. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, a certificate of compliance is the next order. DEP file number 0501-337. 84 Boston Road. Applicant is requesting a full certificate of compliance for a project that was permitted to construct a proposed office, garage, contractor shed. Plan amendments were made during the project, and an as-built drawing is provided, highlighted with additional changes. Team, at our last meeting, there was some discrepancies. There was there were concerns on the as-built that some information was missing. Mason, can you give us an overview on this, where we're at?
Yeah, so it sounds like TJ has some things to update on the as-built plan, and I think he's going to be working with the planning department as well as he submits some updated stormwater calculations to account for the infield changes that had happened through the construction process, and then they will be coming back to present.
Okay, great. Okay, next matter, continue public hearing, DEP file number 0501-447, 2 Plum Island Boulevard. The applicant is submitting a notice of intent to demolish an existing structure on the property and construct residential townhouses within 2 pile-supported buildings. The project is located on a barrier beach within 100 foot of the salt marsh buffer. Mason, can you give us an overview of this stands?
Yep, so the applicant had reached out today, asking for a continuance because the project team is still working through additional revisions to the project plans to submit an updated notice of intent. And then they will be bringing the revised designs to the Conservation Commission on the 5th.
Okay. All right, I will entertain a motion to continue the public hearing at the applicant's request to our August 5th, 2025 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay, was that you, TJ?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll call, all in favor? Mary,
Yes,
TJ,
Aye.
Woody,
Yes.
Mick,
Right?
Harry, you went on, I don't know, can he vote on where he wasn't on the commission when?
no,
Okay,
I don't think so.
okay. Frank
Yes.
and Bob Connors vote yes. Okay, next order of business. It's an amendment request, DEP file number 0501-435, Sunset Club. Applicant is submitting an amendment to the current order of conditions that includes the installation of a 40 by 40 open pavilion structure. This submission addresses the impacts of new resource areas and any change to stormwater management. Mason, can you give us an overview of what's going on with this one?
Yep, so this is another one where we're waiting for updated stormwater calculations and approval by our third-party review, Joe Serwaka. Steve Sawyer had reached out this afternoon and said that they're completing updated drainage calculations from the comments that were made on June 22nd. And he will be updating and submitting the updated calculations tomorrow, July 2nd. So hopefully we should have those reviewed by Joe and ready for any comments from the ConsCom again on August 5th.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to continue the public hearing on this matter to our August 5th, 2025 meeting at the applicant's request.
So moved.
Thank you,
Second.
TJ. Woody, okay. Roll call, all in favor, Mary,
Yes,
TJ,
Yes.
Woody,
Yes.
Mick,
Aye.
Harry,
Yes.
Frank,
Yes.
and Bob Connors votes yes. Okay, general discussion. We're at 6:16. Couldn't beat Mary's record. I think Mary had a 12-minute meeting.
I don't think so.
Tough act to follow, man, I'll
It is.
tell you.
It is.
So on general project discussions, team, we had the Great Meadows license contract that we were reviewing. I apologize. The final edition, the red line edition, the red line changes were in the Dropbox. There was the final edition, the final contract was put in the Dropbox probably 10 minutes before the meeting. No material change, just no red lines on it, but so Mason, why don't you give us your overview on that, and do you have a recommendation?
Yeah, so Tracy and I had gone through, just removed any old language that, doesn't apply anymore, updated dates and things like that. I believe Lisa Colby is the person who's gonna be executing the license with us. Yeah, so everything's been updated, ready for the conservation's approval. And then we'll be going to Lisa after that to have everything executed.
Okay, and no change to the Bobolink timeframe on no cut?
Nope, so any time restraints will remain how they were before.
Okay, so no material change to the meat of the document, just more updating the applicant and updating
I'm
dates.
curious about the requirement for grading of the parking area and what that entails. I mean, that's, I think part of what we had a discussion about this, I think maybe the last meeting, that the parking lot needs some attention. At least it did last time I was there. It could have been changed since then, but there were a lot of really deep holes in it, so maybe we can check up on that, Mason, and see if it still requires some grading.
Yeah,
Make it safe for passage. It's not a problem for farm equipment to get through, but
yep. Yeah, I'll take a look at that to see if that's gonna be needed. We did change the language to say that the owner shall grade the access road as necessary. So that'll be responsible.
It'd be
I'm
a municipality, the town would be responsible for the grading. I
Right,
mean, in the future, and file, if it requires an RDA or an NOI.
Right.
So,
and yeah, I think that's kind of the plan. I'll take a look at that to see kind of the extent of it and what's gonna be needed. And then from there, we would, probably have them come in for an RDA and come in front of the board.
great.
okay. TJ, any questions on this matter?
Nope. Yeah.
Okay, Woody, any questions?
No questions.
Yeah, Frank, any questions? Frank, I think you're frozen.
You're on mute.
Yeah, no, I'm all good on that. Thank you.
Okay. Mick, any questions on this matter?
No questions, Bob. Thank you.
Okay, so Harry, this is an agricultural license. It's property owned by the town. And throughout the town, there are many of these agricultural licenses, or a property owner will hire a farmer to be able to maintain the fields. So this is actually a contract between the town and the local farmer, where they can go in and hay the meadow a few times a year, but subject to the restrictions of nesting birds during a period of time. A contract of low value, $500. So kind of summing up what it is. All right, I have no questions. I will entertain a motion to approve the Great Meadows license as drawn and authorize the chair to sign the document on behalf of the commission.
So moved.
That's TJ. Second,
Second.
Second,
Mick. Okay, roll call, all in favor, Mary,
Yes,
TJ,
Yes,
Woody,
Yes,
Frank,
Yes,
Mick,
Aye.
Harry,
Yes.
and Bob Connors. Okay, that is the end of all our official business. Mason, any other comments you want to, now that I've blown my only opportunity to come in close to Mary, it's, the rush is
now
on.
you want to go till 8 o'clock?
Yeah, now it's gonna be, yeah, you guys are so slow, you ruined my big chance, so.
I do not have anything. I have no updates right now.
were the plantings installed on Riverview?
I believe those are happening this week. Russ had sent me over photos of flags that he had installed, which was according to Mike's planting plan that he had submitted. So I think that they were just waiting on delivery. I can double check. I think he said he was gonna text as soon as those.
Great.
Mason, we have
Frank is
Frank.
looking out his
Yeah,
window. He can
yeah,
see.
yeah. Frank, do you want to give us a report, an update on your neighborhood?
So he said they should be delivered after the 4th of July holiday. So I can check in with him on Monday or so, and should be in shortly after that.
it's all looking good in the neighborhood, Bob.
Take care of the hood, Frank. Take care of the hood. Okay, so I have nothing. If no one else has any other comments or words of wisdom, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Okay. Roll call, all in favor? Mary,
Yes.
TJ, Woody, Frank,
Aye.
Mick, Harry, Bob
Aye.
Connors. Anyone that says no, we're gonna put you on injured reserve, so. Thank you, everyone. Have a great 4th of July and
Aye.
enjoy,
Thanks.
enjoy the month of July. We'll
Yeah.
see you in August.
See you in August.